Not what you think, but triple D's make for a better marriage. Greetings. How many times have you daydreamed of a better marriage? Come on, be honest. If you dare to say never, then turn off this broadcast. The remainder of you, hang in there. Fact is that virtually every marriage, no matter where it falls on the happiness spectrum, can be improved upon. Let me repeat that. Every marriage can be improved upon. Admittedly, sometimes the improvement is only minor. Other times it's huge, but the need is out there. Here's another fact that most of us overlook, purposely or not. Almost every problem in our lives can be boiled down to an essence of a few words, and the solutions are almost always the obvious ones. Worth repeating. We overcomplicate our real problems and overlook the obvious answers. Marriage is a common case in point. Think of your parents', siblings, or friends' marriages. Now of some of the problems or issues that they have faced. How often have you thought how foolish all that they have to do to make things better is to fill in the blank for you? Question. Why don't these people do that themselves? People tend to overcomplicate both the problem and solution because they do not want to accept what is staring them in the face. There are several key reasons. How many of these hit home with you? Number 1, we do not want to acknowledge that we did something wrong. Number 2, we might have little control over a situation. Number 3, we might have chosen a selfish or lousy partner. Number 4, we aren't trained in school as how to properly dissect a dilemma. Number 5, we want a painless solution, one where we do not have to make any sacrifices or do anything uncomfortable or undesirable. Number 6, we are afraid that by addressing the real problem, we are admitting that something is wrong in the marriage, or that possibly we can't have a successful marriage. Number 7, we're afraid of losing our spouse, as if bringing up anything negative would cause them to turn and run from us. Number 8, we truly believe that we know what is wrong and how to fix it, even though we haven't been able to change things for the better despite our best efforts. Number 9, we don't want to admit that we can only change so much. And so what would we ever do if our actions resulted in a larger problem, even divorce? Number 10, anything that is simple and trite sounding we cannot believe would work, even though we put great stock in headline news segments, Twitter, and even the power of the 10 Commandments. So how does any of this relate to triple D's? And I'm not referring to bus size, sorry men. There are essentially 3 don'ts to having a happy and successful marriage. First, do not ignore your spouse. And I know that most of us do just that. Perhaps not to the extreme that the phrase first conjures up in your mind, but how often do we give our spouse real, honest-to-goodness conversation time that does not center around our day, or the kids, or the housework, or finances? What do we truly know of their day at work, their sports, crafts, or cooking hobbies, of general thoughts? I am astounded by how many couples know little of what their partner's views of current events are, or what truly is on in their mind. And then there is actual downtime spent together. Do you each spend hours after the kids are down for the night on separate computers surfing the web, or in different rooms watching your own favorite TV shows or movies? Or, in what of your sex lives? Do you even really have one that is not so sporadic and infrequent that you can't even remember when you last made love? And was it the same old, or actually pleasurable and exciting? Second, do not commit adultery. Remember that part of the 10 Commandments? It really is not old-fashioned or unrealistic. Folks commit adultery, if they are not simply jerks, because they crave loving attention from their spouse. And that means receiving more than obvious leftovers at the end of the day. That means hearing those 3 words, I love you. It means doing something nice for them without being asked to. It means doing something that they know you do not really want to do, but you are doing it essentially to please them and to spend time with them. And while quality time is important here, so is quantity time. Does your sister or bowling buddy or sailing pal get more of that than your husband or wife? Folks also commit adultery because they crave a physical and sexual connection. We don't usually marry our platonic best friend. We marry the person who also turns us on. If you're too tired and stressed at the end of the day to be intimate, then be intimate in the morning. Wake up earlier than usual. Sometimes the sex is boring. Well, it's up to you to let them know what would make it more exciting for you. And if they are the one who is yawning during lovemaking, then find out what would excite them once again. Sexless adultery is also very real for many of you. It comes from spending emotional energy with a stranger rather than your own spouse. whether in person, through Facebook, or community forums. It's about balance, and if your special friend gets more of you than your partner does, then you are likely committing a form of adultery. Third, do not overlook the obvious. Despite our desires to overcomplicate matters, most problems, as I have already explained, can be boiled down to and remedied by the obvious. We need to learn how to spot it, how to accept the information when a friend, parent, or clergy person informs us of it. We need to realize that trite expressions usually became so popular because they were true. If the obvious answer is simply one that would require us to give in when our spouse is actually right, or would require us to do something that we'd rather not do, or require that we admit that we were wrong in our words or actions, then so be it. The longer we waste time searching for the holy grail of solutions, the worse things are likely to become between you both, and new problems will likely arise as well. Every marriage can be improved upon, period. Practice the 3 Ds of marriage. Enough said. And why not order the media-acclaimed book, Improve Your Marriage, Don't Overlook the Obvious, by me, Russell Irving. Available through Amazon.com, Barnes & Noble's website, and other retailers. Print and ebook versions. Then visit the related website, www.don'toverlooktheobvious.com.